two of the largest countries in the world, India and China. India is the largest democracy in the world. China is the largest communist system in the world. When you travel between India, China, and even comparing it to the West, how can we think about what's working and not working in that relative comparison of those two largest democracies and communist systems in the world?
So democracy as a political system is one thing. As Churchill said, maybe in democracies, misery is equally distributed. When things have to be done, it gets slowed down inordinately simply because you have to convince everybody involved, and not everybody gets the point. By the time they get the point, the time has passed many times. So this problem is there. But the most beautiful aspect of democracy is, not always is it right, most of the time it gets itself wrong. In spite of that, the best thing about democracy is, this is the first time in the history of humanity that we can change power without bloodshed. That's the most important thing, we should never forget this. Otherwise, even within a family, if power had to change, there was bloodletting. Major nations are changing power without a drop of blood. That is the first time in the last in the last 10,000 years. It is only in the last 50, 60 years this is happening across the world. So we should not underestimate the value of that, though there are unnecessary impediments in democracy, which goes on, what can be settled in 10 minutes goes on for 10 years of debate. Yes. Like you're talking about, economies which are at different stages of development. If you say United States, it's at a certain stage of development. If you say Republic of China, it is at a certain stage of development. If you say India, it's another stage of development. I don't think you can handle all the three with the same norms and rules because they are in different age groups. You can't handle a 5-year-old kid and a 15-year-old youth and a 25-year-old adult the same way. So, they are in different stages. They need to be nurtured and handled in different ways. China is a great example where in a forceful manner, in a very forceful manner, almost in a brutal manner, they have taken out 1 billion people out of poverty in a matter of 40 years. That's not a small thing. People focus on brutality, but the most brutal thing is to keep a whole population a lifetime of poverty is the most brutal thing. Shooting somebody is not so brutal compared to keeping them in poverty for a whole lifetime or generations of people. Generations of people were in extreme poverty, so to move them out forcefully, it was taken out of that. I think now they're making the necessary changes, maybe the world expects faster changes, but they're making the necessary changes of shifting from a communist and forceful way of handling things to a more market-oriented way of handling. I think it's a very wise thing to do. There is no perfect way to do these things. Nobody knows what is the perfect way when 1 billion people are involved in the economy. India is doing it the hard way, but in a more stable way, I would say, because when it happens forcefully, it is easy to use force on people when they're very poor. When people are poor, stick works. When they become affluent, the stick won't work, they will turn around and bite. That time will come for China. Before that, they must change themselves. I think they're moving in that direction. Are they moving rapidly enough or not is only something we have to see how it happens.